Where I'm working on my 2004 Pontiac Grand Prix. Going to be replacing the rear brakes on here today. And we're just going to go ahead and get started. I've got my jack positioned just right here on this part of the frame. I'm going to get a jack stand under here on this pinch weld. And I'm going to be using an impact. If you don't have one, break your lugs loose first. Okay, so we got the jack stand. We just actually put it right there on that, leaving the jack. There's no need to remove it. We've got a 19 millimeter for these lugs. Before you start this, you want to make sure to get you one of these. It's a loaner tool, AutoZone, and you'll need this to push that piston. It's a real simple tool. Now there's people that can make do without it, but if you can get this, it's just going to make it easier. So let's go ahead and we'll take our 19 millimeter and go ahead and work on getting the lugs off here. Okay, so we got the wheel off. We're going to come in here to the back. We've got a couple of 14 millimeters. Got one there. We got one down at the bottom. And said they'll be pretty tight, so you may need a breaker bar or cheater pipe or something. So we're just going to go ahead and attempt to get this bottom one. Alright, so that's all there is to those. We'll set those aside. And we should be able to just wiggle this off here. And we're just going to let that kind of sit there. It ain't going to hurt anything. And here's our first pad. So it's still got a little life left to them, but they're not looking real good. And you'll note the little tattletale tab is in the back, so we'll put that back the same way. Now we're just going to take and brush this out a little bit here, clean it out just a little bit. Now what we're going to do now is get set up with our tool here. Now they have different attachments, but the one that is going to work for me is the main piece here, and it fits. You can see how it's got the slots there, and those pins will just fit right in that. Now this piece you just slip over this handle. This piece slips on and off, so you just slip it over the handle like that to put it on. And once you get it together, then we just take it and we put this on the inside. We have to make sure that it'll fit in here, so we screw this down a little bit, and then we're able to slip this piece until we're able to slip this piece in here, and then we just turn it and line it up with our notches, and then we're going to take and turn this counterclockwise. And there's no need to use a wrench on this. You can just tighten this by hand, and as you turn this, so it may be a little bit stubborn to get it going at first, but it'll go pretty easy. You keep snugging this up as you turn this. Now also, I've done monitored the level of my fluid, and it's fine, so you want to make sure, if you hadn't done that, to get up here under your hood, and you'll take your cap off right here and make sure. You may have to take some of this out if it starts overflowing. So you'll just keep an eye on that and make sure that it doesn't start overflowing there. So long as that's good, we're just going to take and we're going to push this piston. Like I said, we're going to keep backing this up as we go to keep it nice and snug, and then we're just going to keep turning this piston all the way and just keep snugging this back. And this tool just makes it so much easier. And there's some of these cars that have these and they're extremely tight, and there's just no way you can turn them by any other means. So that's plenty good enough there. So we're going to go ahead and just take our tool back off here. We'll just loosen this back up and we'll take our tool back off. Like I said, this piece comes off of the handle. You just slip it on and off. So now we're done with that. We're going to go ahead and get our new pads over here into place. Okay, so what I do, so we're going to put this little tattletale thing is going in the back. I take a slight tiny bit of grease and put on these. So we done cleaned our spots out there. So we're going to work our back one in first. Just kind of push it down. And sometimes you have to fiddle with it if it doesn't want to cooperate. So there's that one. So I got a little bit of contact grease on there, and there's that one. And we got our piston pushed back so we can set this. But now the next thing, before we get this all up here into place, we're going to take these out, and you can just pull that, pop it off like that, and we're going to re-grease these, make sure there's plenty of grease in these boots here. And I'll just dab them in there and get a good amount and work it in there real good and make sure that you get plenty of grease back on those. You don't want those things to seize or rust up on you, and then you got a lot of other problems to deal with. So get plenty of grease on those. And they've got regular slide grease, but I'm just using this here. You can use whatever you like, and we'll clean up any of this excess here when we get done, so it's not just going everywhere. Okay, so we're getting ready. I'm going to go ahead and clean up this excess a little bit here, and then we're going to set this caliper. Okay, so I put a little bit of Loctite, and we're going to start our bolts here, and these are going to get snugged to 31 foot-pounds, which is not a whole lot. If you don't have a torque wrench, tighten them with a small ratchet. Just don't get carried away with it, because it's a little bolt and you can strip it out and break it. But 31 foot-pounds is what it calls for. So we're going to go ahead and finish snugging these, and I'm probably just going to go by feel. I'm not going to torque these here. Okay, so we've gotten those snugged down, and that's all there is to these. Now we're just getting ready to get our wheel back on here now. Okay, so I'm just snugging these down a little bit with my ratchet, and then we're going to go ahead and lower the car, and then we're going to torque these. Okay, so I just got the rear tire, I got the lugs torqued to 100 foot-pounds, and it just started raining on me. I just barely got done here. But anyways, that's going to conclude the video replacing these rear brake pads. If you found it helpful, please give it a like. As always, I invite you to subscribe, and I thank you for watching.